Hey there, welcome back to this week's episode of Finance Fridays. I'm your host, Lucas Bolahood of the Bolahood Group, and I'm joined by my trusted lending specialist, Alexandra Jobb. Alex, it's been a little while since we've been together, so what's been
Been a
going on?
while. Oh my gosh, so much has been going on. And I know we had to do a little recording in a different way the last time. And the reason for that was because I was transitioning into same position, new company. So I am no longer with the big blue bank. As you know, my family and I have been working together there for years, and we all made a shift and a move to become mortgage brokers, licensed mortgage agents, and we are now with Dominion Lending. Super excited, and have been on this venture of like onboarding for the last few weeks and getting to know our new lending options. And it has just been like truly been phenomenal. Like a world that I knew existed, but it didn't have the inside. And now working here, I'm just like blown away about, just being able to shop rates and programs and so many options. It's going to be amazing for our clients.
I think that's a fantastic thing, right? Like, I love family business. My family's been in real estate for most of my life, if not just about all of it that I'm aware of or can remember. And the fact that it's your mom, your sister, your brother, your brother-in-law, the whole family is involved in with Dominion. And so, what's your team called? Like, who are you guys?
So we are Legacy Lending, plugged to my website, legacylending.ca. All of our information is on there where we've got a little bio and things and ways to contact us. So this gives us like a customized, tailored platform for the clients to work with me directly and then, find the best solution for them. It's wonderful.
Well, I think in one of our biggest things, or our biggest initiative, you could say, at our job as professionals is to build relationships, to solve
Yeah.
problems, and to have fun while we're doing it. And this actually gives
Yeah,
you so many
that's
more
well said.
options when you're trying to solve those issues that people come to you with, right? You're not,
Yeah.
let's say, directed to follow one avenue or one path, or you're so much more limited at maybe the big blue bank as you described it.
Yes.
And now you've got these options that you can provide people and help solve those problems.
Yeah, that was the reason, the primary reason, as the markets changed, we felt we needed a change. We needed more options. So we can still work with A lenders, A pricing. We have the option to go into the B space, private lending, and even commercial. So like it's just a huge opportunity.
That's fantastic. Well,
All for you.
congratulations. I'm
Thank
happy
you
to hear
so
you
much.
finally made the leap,
Yeah,
and
thank you.
we can talk a lot more about what's going on with legacy lending and
Hmm.
your team there. That's fantastic. Well, congrats again, and thanks for
Thank you.
joining me again this week.
Thank you so
This is
much.
awesome. So it's been a bit since we've had a chance to chat more formally here, and obviously there's been some significant changes happening throughout the real estate industry and the financing industry. We saw in August, like, inflation was at, I believe, 4%, and our policy rates with the Bank of Canada are at 5%. So, like, what's going on in the lending world right now, and what can you tell us maybe about what's happening with inflation?
So with inflation, I'm trying to kind of gather the information for September, and we're waiting on those like reports for all economics to kind of button up, and then I will definitely share when I have more on it. And of course, what's happening overseas may play a part into the markets here and how lending is going to look coming forward. So it's just so new. Like I said, we're waiting on September information to like wrap that up, and then what's happening there, what's the future going to look like. I can say that my expectation would be Bank of Canada holds off with a rate hike in the end of October here. That's what I'm hearing. But what does it look like going forward? Will we see a decrease a little sooner? Maybe. So once I get that data, I would love to come back and share what I'm hearing and the rumbles, and then we can share that with our viewers.
Well, I think, like, even just like in September, I was away for a couple of weeks, and I got back and it looked like gas had dropped at the pump. So I mean, that's one of those big drivers of inflation that people see, hit, every day. So to see that prices are, looking at the pump this morning, we're in the $1.40 in
Hmm.
the 140s. So and early September we were $1.70 a liter. So that's certainly a good sign. Hopefully that does translate into some slowdowns in
Changes.
inflation, and
Hmm.
maybe a rate hold in October 25th.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does it look like in your market with sales and listings and what's happening here for, when you look back at September and into what we've had passed in October.
Well, so we're recording here the second week of October, just after Thanksgiving, and August, was a slower month than it was in July. September was even more of that. We saw a 16% decline in the number of sales from August to September. We're down to, there was 776 in August, now to 653 in September, which is actually, actually on par with where we were this time last year in terms of activity on the market, where rates were, interest rates weren't as high as they are today. But inventory has taken a big jump as well. And that's one of the reasons why I think we've seen some slowdowns in our market. There was a 13% increase in new listings in September, back from August. We're to 1,727 new listings, which is sort of pushing us towards a balanced market. Our months of inventory level was at almost 2.5 months to wrap up September. And less than 2 weeks into October, looking and preparing for this call today, we're at 2.9 months of inventory. And why that's important and why people should understand that is, as we get closer to 3 months of inventory, we're going to enter a balanced market. And we've been in a seller's market for the majority of the last 3 years, right? We've been in a very tight real estate market. There's been demand has been so high, and that prices have skyrocketed. Not to mention money at that time was virtually free, right? And you recall how busy those months and now what looks like now years were. But we're in a more of a balanced market. This is more normal for what a traditional real estate market would be like versus the crazy market we've been in. So, home values are changing. Buyers have more leverage when they're coming to the table, looking at a home or looking to place a valuation on that property, because again, there's fewer selling and it's taking longer for them to sell. Homeowners are starting to feel some of that pressure to maybe look at that offer that's on the table instead of waiting out for something that might have been there 2 months ago. So homeowners need to be aware of what's happening in their neighborhood today, not what happened 3-4 weeks ago beyond that, right? So it's values are very sensitive to pricing and to their presentation as well. Last year you could put or 2 years ago, not so much last year, but you could put a sign on a lawn, take a couple of low quality cell phone photos, and have the home sold in 6-7 days, right? Where that's not the case anymore. So
I think it's really important. I think it's really important that if a client is thinking about moving, whether they are jumping into the market, to buy, then it's really understanding what is that house worth? What are the other comparables, working with you to determine that. And if you're looking to sell, do not make up that number in your head. Like, oh, I think we're going to get this price for our house. It has to be reviewed with a professional to say what is happening in the market today. You do not want to be in last year's prices or the year before, say, well, my neighbor got this in the spring. It's based on today's data, and that's what you have. And I know you're so good at putting that together and sharing that information, but it has to be relative, right?
Yeah, you need to understand what's happening. And again, like if a home sold for X in July this year, it's not going to be the similar price in September. You've really got to understand that what they sold for is not what today's value is. Buyers' borrowing power is dropping, and that's going to impact even just what they can offer in general. And their home that they're buying or that they're selling is going to sell for less as well. So they're going to get less equity out of the sale. So you really need to understand we are in a bit of a delicate balance here between what we can really realistically expect a home to sell for. And actually that brings to one thought that I was thinking of here, as we're prepping here, like, are you seeing appraisals coming up short at all yet? Or are we still doing pretty well
appraisal subjects are, one to be weary of, which it brings us to the point of when we're in a market where values are coming down or softening a bit. That's where that financing condition could come into play, right? Where you go, okay, I'm going to get my appraisal done then to make sure that if, what position are you in? Are you okay if there is a bit of a shortfall? I haven't had anything land on my desk where it's come in short, but that you hear these stories, they're out there. This is the market that we're in right now, and you need to protect yourself for those reasons. Or, play those what if cards. What if it does come in lower? Is my down payment still enough? Or am I looking for max financing,
Well, and that's the other thing I was thinking of as well, and I'm having more conversations with folks, because like a lot of times we like to think, okay, I'm not going to sell my home and be pressured to move out or be pressured to buy something I don't want until I've purchased a property, right? They want to buy first so they can
I
take
know.
their time to find a home before they have to get everything in order and move out, right?
Yeah.
But when you're in a market like this that is seeing that downward pressure, you want to understand what your home's value is, so you know what equity you're getting out of the
Yeah.
property that you can use towards the down payment for your purchase, right?
Yeah.
And again,
So
if
you don't get caught,
you don't get
right?
caught in the middle where
You
it's
don't
like,
get
what
caught.
if the home that you're buying
Or you
appraises
have to have
low
those,
or
what
doesn't
it
sell
like,
for what
what
you
does
need
that
it
look
to
like?
sell for?
Yeah. Does that mean that, we've got some borrowed down payment? Does that mean we're adding a cosigner? How do we make the deal work in that case, right? If you're going to go out and buy and then you sell for a lot less, what are your options? You
Yeah.
know, what does that look like on the lending side? Do we need to get a little bit more creative with the financing? And that is what I'm here for.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I mean, we need to have those conversations. And again, like we're working here as a team, if we have that discussion of going into, well, this is the objective we want to accomplish. When do we want to accomplish it by? Well, then it becomes, okay, well, how can we accomplish that for you, with you, and create a plan that'll work?
Exactly.
But you might need to rethink that traditional thought process of buying first before listing your home, because when you have more information to go in and make that decision, again, knowing what you're going to get out of the property for equity purposes, and using that towards the purchase, that can help make a much safer decision. Even if you are including those the financing conditions on your offer to purchase, knowing what equity you're going to get is something that I'd recommend considering as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good point.
now, what's happening? What's happening the end of the month here? We've got Halloween coming up. You got any plans? What's the theme
Halloween,
at your
I'm
house
always
today?
in. I was never into Halloween until I had kids. Now it's fun and like a family affair, family event. We all dress up. Well, I don't, but my husband and the kids, it's always a theme, and I will keep that a secret for now.
Ooh, okay.
So, but it will be here before we know it.
Yeah, I know it's going to be here real quick. It's I guess we're probably going to get one more call in here before Halloween, so maybe that's when we'll have to I'll try and grind you a little bit more to see what you're going to be. I mean, my son's getting right into Mario Brothers right now, so he's Luigi. My oldest, anyways, he's Mario. I'm going to be Luigi, and my youngest is going to be Toad, the little mushroom.
Aw,
I'm trying to convince my wife to be Princess Peach, but I might just go out of my way and buy her a Bowser costume just to be a contrarian.
oh
But we'll
my
see.
gosh.
I mean, heck, the last couple of years too, it's like been really damp and rainy and cold. So I'm
I
hoping
know
for
you're
a
supposed to
dry
get that.
Halloween this year, so we can
That'd be
actually
nice.
enjoy being outside a little bit more and trick or treating.
That would be nice.
Maybe a fun day. We'll get a chance to talk about that a little bit more on our next chat here. But anything else to add this week, Alex?
No, I will circle back in regards to inflation and what our anticipation of like rates are going to do moving forward when I have that information. And like, as I said, going forward, I can dig into different lenders and how they specialize for certain clientele, and what some different options are for lending. We can dig into that because I'm outside of the single box now. So
Yeah,
lots to
absolutely.
share in the future.
I'm excited for you, Alex. It's going to be great.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to all of it, and obviously our next call here, I think it's going to be before the October 25th rate announcement too. So we'll get to get some more information and put some money on the table for what we're going to
Yes.
going to happen.
Bet on our coffees.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thanks again so much for your time, Alex. And again, folks, thanks for watching our video today. You'll find our contact information and Alex's new contact info at the end of this video here as well. And feel free to reach out with any questions you might have along the way. So thanks again, and bye for now.